The laughter echoed through the baby store like shattered glass, each cruel sound cutting deeper than the last. Trinity's hands trembled as she counted out another quarter, adding it to the pile of coins on the counter. $37.62. Every penny saved from tips, scraped together over weeks of double shifts and skipped meals. "Ma'am, we can't accept this," the cashier said, her voice dripping with disdain as she pushed the coins back. "This is ridiculous. We are not a piggy bank." Behind her, a woman in designer clothes whispered loudly to her friend, "Can you believe this? Paying in coins? She shouldn't have a kid if she can't afford basic supplies." Trinity's throat tightened. Alice needed new shoes. Her daughter's toes were cramping in her current pair, and Trinity had promised they'd get them today. She looked down at the scattered coins, humiliation burning through her chest like acid. That's when she heard it. A voice like cold steel cutting through warm butter. "Put it on my name." The store fell silent. Trinity turned to see a man who seemed to command gravity itself, Korean, impeccably dressed in all black, with eyes that could freeze fire. He stepped forward, and people instinctively moved aside. "Everything she's buying," he continued, his accent slight but his authority absolute. "Put it on my name, now." The cashier's face went white. 3 hours earlier, Trinity had been wiping down tables at Lou's Diner on Peachtree Street, a third customer asking if she could smile more. She'd smiled until her cheeks ached, pocketed a $5 tip on a $40 check, and reminded herself that Alice was worth every moment of this. Her daughter, her everything. 7 years old with warm brown skin, questioning eyes that saw too much for someone so young, and a spirit that refused to be dimmed by their circumstances. Trinity's phone buzzed. A text from Mrs. Chen, their neighbor who watched Alice after school. "Alice's shoes are really tight, honey. Her feet are getting bigger." Trinity closed her eyes and leaned against the diner's brick wall during her break. The coins she'd been saving in the coffee can under her bed, tips she'd carefully set aside over the past month, totaled exactly $37.62, enough for a decent pair of shoes at the outlet store. By 3:30, she clocked out and caught the bus to Happy Feet Baby Store in Buckhead. The store smelled like new plastic and baby powder. Trinity made her way to the children's shoe section, scanning the prices with practiced efficiency. Size 2. She found a pair of pink sneakers with decent support, marked down to $32. Perfect. She was heading to the register when trouble started. A blonde woman in expensive athleisure wear was berating an elderly customer for counting out cash too slowly. Trinity waited patiently as the line moved forward. When it was finally her turn, she set the shoebox on the counter and pulled out her coffee can, carefully wrapped in a plastic bag. The cashier, a young woman with a name tag that read Bethany, looked at the can, then at Trinity. "Seriously?" "It's $37.62, Trinity said quietly, beginning to count out the coins. "Exact change." Bethany's lip curled. "We can't accept this." Trinity's hands stilled. "What?" "This." Bethany gestured at the coins now spreading across the counter. "This is ridiculous. We're not a bank. We can't sit here and count all this." Heat crawled up Trinity's neck. "It's legal tender. You have to accept it." "Ma'am, I don't have to do anything." Bethany pushed the coins back toward Trinity, several quarters rolling onto the floor. "You're holding up the line." Trinity felt every eye in the store turn toward her. The blonde woman from earlier whispered to her friend, loud enough for everyone to hear, "Can you believe this? Paying in coins? If you can't afford to shop here, maybe don't have kids you can't take care of." The words hit like a physical blow. Trinity bent down to pick up the fallen quarters, her hands shaking now, humiliation flooding through her in waves. "Put it on my name." The voice cut through the chaos like a knife through silk, deep, controlled, and carrying an authority that made everyone in the store freeze. Trinity looked up from the floor, a quarter still clutched in her hand. A man stood 3 feet away, and he looked like he'd stepped out of another world entirely. Korean, probably mid-30s, with sharp features and dark eyes that held an intensity that made her breath catch. He wore all black, expensive black, the kind of clothes that whispered wealth. His hair was perfectly styled, his posture radiating a confidence that went beyond mere arrogance into something far more dangerous. Power. This man breathed power. "I'm sorry?" Bethany stammered. The man took a single step forward, and Trinity watched the cashier actually lean back. "Everything she's buying," he said, his voice calm but carrying an edge that raised the hair on Trinity's arms. "Put it on my name. Now." "Sir, is there a problem?" He tilted his head slightly, and somehow the gesture was more threatening than if he'd shouted. "I'm offering to pay. I believe that's how commerce works." Bethany's face had gone pale. "No, sir. No problem at all." He pulled out a black card and handed it to her. Trinity noticed his hands, strong with long fingers and immaculate nails. No wedding ring. A subtle tattoo peeked out from beneath his shirt cuff. "The shoes," he said, "and whatever else she needs." "I don't need—" Trinity started, finally finding her voice. He turned to look at her, and the words died in her throat. Up close, his eyes were even more intense, dark and fathomless. "Your daughter needs shoes," he said quietly. "Let me help." "I can pay," she said, her pride warring with reality. "I have the money." "I know you do." His lips curved slightly, not quite a smile. "But you shouldn't have to endure this for simply trying to care for your child." He turned back to Bethany, who was frantically processing the card. "Ring up the shoes. Add anything else a 7-year-old girl might need. Clothes, toys, whatever inventory you have in that size." "Sir, that's not necessary," Trinity protested. "It's done." He glanced at her again. "I trust you'll make good use of it." Bethany's hands shook as she processed the transaction. The store had gone completely silent. Even the blonde woman had stopped whispering, staring at the man with something that looked like fear. Who was he? The transaction completed with a beep. Bethany handed back his card with both hands, almost like a ritual offering. "Thank you, Mr. Shin. Everything's been charged to your account." Mr. Shin. The name meant nothing to Trinity, but clearly it meant something to everyone else. He turned to her. "What's your name?" She hesitated. Something warned her that giving him her name was giving him power, but he'd just saved her from one of the most humiliating moments of her life. "Trinity," she said quietly. "Trinity Hayes." "Trinity." He said her name like he was tasting it. "Beautiful name. Strong." "I'll pay you back," she said, lifting her chin. "Every cent. I don't know how long it'll take, but I'll pay you back." Something flickered across his face. "That's not necessary. It is to me." She bent down and started collecting her scattered coins. "I don't take charity." "It's not charity." He crouched down beside her, and Trinity's breath caught at his proximity. He smelled like expensive cologne, and something else, something dark and compelling. "Consider it an investment." "In what?" He handed her a quarter that had rolled near his shoe. Their fingers brushed, and Trinity felt an electric shock run up her arm. "In someone who clearly knows the value of every coin," he said softly. "That's rare." Before Trinity could respond, Bethany appeared with 3 large shopping bags. "Everything's ready, Mr. Shin." He stood, and Trinity rose with him, still clutching her can of coins. "The shoes are in there," he said, gesturing to the bags, "and some other things. For your daughter, Alice," Trinity said without thinking. "Her name is Alice." His expression softened almost imperceptibly. "Alice. That's a good name." Trinity took the bags, their weight surprising her. Whatever he'd bought was more than just shoes. "Thank you," she said, the words feeling inadequate. "Really, I don't know how to—" "You don't have to." He pulled out a business card from his inner jacket pocket and handed it to her. "If you want to repay me, call this number. We can discuss arrangements." Trinity took the card. It was heavy cardstock, matte black with silver lettering. "Just a name, Shin Kyung-soo, and a phone number." "What kind of arrangements?" she asked warily. His lips curved into that not-quite smile again. "We'll discuss it when you call." He started to turn away, then paused. "Trinity." "Yes?" "Don't ever let anyone make you feel ashamed for taking care of your child. You're a good mother. Anyone can see that." Before she could respond, he walked out of the store. Trinity watched through the window as a black SUV pulled up. Shin Kyung-soo slid into the back seat, and the vehicle disappeared into Atlanta traffic. Trinity looked down at the business card in her hand, then at the shopping bags, then at Bethany, who was staring at her with shock. "Who was that?" Trinity asked. Bethany's laugh was slightly hysterical. "You don't know? That was Shin Kyung-soo. He owns half of Buckhead, the legal half anyway." "The legal half." Trinity's stomach dropped. "And the illegal half?" she asked, though she already knew the answer. Bethany leaned across the counter, lowering her voice. Let's just say you don't want to owe him anything. That man, he's dangerous, honey. Real dangerous. Trinity looked down at the card again. The silver lettering seemed to gleam in the fluorescent lights. She'd just accepted help from a criminal, a powerful one, and now she had his card, his number, and 3 bags full of things she couldn't afford to buy herself. She thought of Alice, waiting at home with Mrs. Chen, her feet cramping in shoes too small. She thought of the blonde woman's cruel words, of Bethany's sneering face, of every humiliation she'd swallowed over the past 7 years of doing this alone. Trinity carefully folded the card and tucked it into her pocket. Maybe dangerous was exactly what she needed. The shoes fit perfectly. Alice had squealed with delight when Trinity came home, throwing her arms around her mother's waist. She'd immediately put them on and run circles around their small apartment. Her face lit up like Christmas morning. That night, after Alice fell asleep, Trinity finally went through the other bags. 3 outfits in Alice's size, all good quality. A warm winter jacket, a stuffed animal, a small wolf with soft grey fur, socks, underwear, hair accessories, and at the bottom, a pink backpack with a note attached. The note was handwritten in precise, elegant script. Every girl deserves to carry her dreams. K.S. Trinity sat on her threadbare couch, surrounded by clothes her daughter desperately needed, but she couldn't afford, and cried silently. That was 3 days ago. Now, standing in Lou's diner during the dinner rush, Trinity couldn't stop thinking about the business card burning a hole in her pocket. She was wiping down the counter when the door chimed. Trinity looked up automatically and froze. Shin Kyung-soo stood in the doorway of Lou's diner like a wolf that had wandered into a henhouse. He wore another immaculate black suit. Every customer in the diner turned to stare. He saw her immediately. Their eyes locked across the room, and Trinity felt that same electric shock. He walked toward the counter, his movements fluid and controlled. Lou emerged from the kitchen, took one look at their unexpected guest, and retreated without a word. Trinity, Kyung-soo said, sliding onto a stool. You haven't called. Her mouth had gone dry. How did you know where I work? I asked. He said it simply, as if tracking down someone's place of employment was perfectly normal. That's invasive. Efficient, he corrected. You said you wanted to repay me. I'm here to discuss terms. Trinity glanced around. Several customers were openly watching them now. I'm working. I can see that. He looked around the diner. How long until your shift ends? 3 hours. Then I have another job. Something flickered in his eyes. Another job? Where? I clean offices downtown, midnight to 6 a.m. His jaw tightened. You work from 3 p.m. to 6 a.m.? 6 days a week, sometimes 7. And Alice? Mrs. Chen watches her at night. She sleeps on her couch. Kyung-soo was quiet for a long moment. Have dinner with me. I just told you I'm working 2 jobs back to back. When exactly would I have dinner with you? Now. I'll compensate Lou for the lost hours. You can't just... Louis Chen, Lou said, appearing suddenly at Trinity's elbow. He looked at Kyung-soo with wariness. And there's no need for compensation, Mr. Shin. Trinity can take the rest of the night off. Paid. Trinity spun to face her boss. Lou, I can't... Yes, you can. Lou's tone was gentle but firm. Go on, honey. It's a slow night. Trinity saw something in Lou's expression that made her pause. The same thing she'd seen in Bethany's face at the baby store. Respect mixed with fear. I don't want to have dinner with you, Trinity said, turning back to Kyung-soo. I want to pay you back and be done with this. Then have dinner with me, and we'll discuss repayment terms. He stood. 1 hour, that's all I'm asking. Trinity thought about the clothes Alice was wearing right now. Warm, good quality, things Trinity hadn't been able to provide on her own. 1 hour, she said finally. 10 minutes later, Trinity found herself in a sleek black Mercedes. Kyung-soo drove with controlled precision, navigating Atlanta's evening traffic with easy confidence. Where are we going? Trinity asked. There's a Korean restaurant in my building. Very private. Your building? I own it. Among other properties. Trinity processed this. What exactly do you do, Mr. Shin? Call me Kyung-soo. He glanced at her. I manage various business interests. Import-export, real estate, entertainment venues, and the not legal business interests. He was quiet for a moment. You've been asking about me. Hard not to when everyone acts terrified the second you walk in a room. Not everyone. He pulled into an underground parking garage. You don't seem afraid. Should I be? That depends. On what? On whether you trust your instincts. He got out and came around to open her door. What do your instincts tell you about me? Trinity accepted his offered hand. That you're dangerous. But not to me. At least not right now. His lips curved. Smart woman. The restaurant was on the top floor of a gleaming high-rise. They took a private elevator, and Trinity felt her stomach drop as they ascended. The doors opened directly into an intimate space with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. Kyung-soonim, an elegant Korean woman, greeted them with a deep bow. Your usual table is ready. They were led to a corner booth with a view that must have cost a fortune. Trinity slid onto the plush seat, feeling completely out of her element. I'll order for us if that's acceptable, Kyung-soo said. At her nod, he spoke rapid Korean to the woman, who disappeared. I've ordered several dishes so you can try different things. Trinity looked out at the city. This is surreal. Why? 3 days ago I was counting coins in a baby store. Now I'm in... She gestured around. Whatever this is. A restaurant. You know what I mean. She turned to face him. Why are you doing this? What do you want from me? Kyung-soo leaned back. The truth? Please? I don't know yet. Trinity blinked. What? I saw you in that store, counting your coins, picking them up off the floor while that woman mocked you. And you never stopped. Never ran. You just kept gathering your coins because your daughter needed shoes. He paused. Do you know how rare that is? Real strength. I'm not strong. I'm just doing what I have to do. That's what strength is. He leaned forward slightly. Most people in your position would have broken. But you still have kindness in your eyes. Fire. Dignity. Despite everything. Trinity's throat tightened. You don't know me. No. But I'd like to. The food arrived then. Dish after dish of beautifully prepared Korean cuisine. Mrs. Park explained each dish in accented English, smiling warmly at Trinity. Please eat, Kyung-soo said. Trinity tried everything, discovering flavors she'd never experienced before. The kimchi was spicy and tangy, the japchae sweet and savory, the bibimbap perfect. Tell me about Alice, Kyung-soo said eventually. Trinity smiled automatically. She's 7, smart, loves to read, especially fairy tales about princesses who save themselves. Sounds like her mother. Trinity's smile faltered. Her father left when I was 4 months pregnant. Said he wasn't ready. I haven't heard from him since. His loss. The simple statement made Trinity's chest tight. She asks about him sometimes. I don't know what to tell her. The truth, eventually, that some people aren't strong enough to stay. Kyung-soo set down his chopsticks. But she has you. That's more than enough. Is it? Trinity heard the doubt in her own voice. I work all the time. She sleeps on a neighbor's couch half the week. We live in a tiny apartment in a neighborhood where I'm scared to let her play outside. Your daughter has new shoes, Kyung-soo said quietly. Because you saved every coin. She has food, shelter, love. She has a mother who would endure public humiliation rather than give up. Trinity, that's everything. Trinity's eyes burned. The repayment terms. Let's discuss them. Kyung-soo studied her for a long moment, then nodded. I need someone I can trust. For what? Managing properties? Organizing events? Handling communications? The legitimate side of my business operations. I'm a waitress and a janitor. I don't have those skills. You're organized, hardworking, and honest. Those are the skills that matter. He pulled out his phone and showed her a figure. This would be your monthly salary. Health insurance included. Normal business hours, 9 to 5. Weekends off. Trinity stared at the number. It was more than she made in 3 months at both her current jobs combined. That's too much. It's market rate for a personal assistant. I'd be working for you? Yes. Trinity's mind raced. The money would change everything. She could move to a better neighborhood. Alice could have her own room. Trinity could actually sleep at night. But working for a criminal? What's the catch? She asked. No catch. You work, you get paid. If you want to leave at any time, you leave. No obligations beyond standard 2-week notice. Why me? Kyung-soo's expression grew serious. Because I've spent my entire life surrounded by people who want something from me. Power, money, connections. Everyone has an angle. He looked out at the city. But you? You wanted to pay me back immediately, with coins you'd saved from tips. That kind of integrity can't be faked. Trinity's heart pounded. And if I say no, then I drive you to your cleaning job, and we never speak again. The clothes for Alice are a gift, no strings attached. He met her eyes. But I hope you say yes. Trinity thought about Alice, sleeping on Mrs. Chen's couch right now. She thought about 7 years of grinding exhaustion, of choosing between electricity and groceries. She thought about the way Kyung-soo had said her name in the baby store. Like it mattered. Like she mattered. One condition, Trinity said, name it. If I ever find out you're using me for something illegal or putting Alice in danger, I walk, immediately. No notice, no explanation. Kyung-soo extended his hand across the table. Deal. Trinity looked at his hand, strong, elegant, dangerous, and knew that shaking it would change everything. But Alice needed shoes that fit, and Trinity was tired of being strong alone. She took his hand. Deal. Trinity's first day working for Shin Kyung-soo started with a wardrobe crisis. She stood in front of her tiny closet at 6 a.m., staring at the 3 work-appropriate outfits she owned. "Mama, you look pretty," Alice called from the kitchen table. Trinity smiled at her daughter. "Thanks, baby." The building was all gleaming glass and steel. "Can I help you?" the security guard asked. "I'm Trinity Hayes. I'm supposed to—" "Ms. Hayes," a young Korean woman appeared, smiling warmly. "I'm Ji-won, his executive assistant. You'll be the other." She shook Trinity's hand. "Come on, I'll show you to your office." Office. Trinity had an office. Ji-won explained the building's layout as they rode the elevator to the 20th floor. Trinity's head spun, trying to remember everything. Here we are. Ji-won opened a door to reveal a bright corner office with windows overlooking Peachtree Street. Modern desk, comfortable chairs, new computer setup. Mr. Shin wanted you to have natural light. Trinity stepped inside, trying not to gape. This office was bigger than her apartment's living room. "Is this real?" she asked softly. Ji-won laughed. "I had the same reaction when I started 2 years ago. Mr. Shin is different from other employers. He actually cares about his people." She gestured to the desk. "Your computer is already set up. Password is taped underneath the keyboard. Mr. Shin will meet with you at 9. After Ji-won left, Trinity sank into the ergonomic chair and stared at her reflection in the monitor. A black woman in a frayed blazer, sitting in an office that probably cost more per month than she'd made all last year. The computer password was written in precise handwriting. "Welcome aboard." The next 2 hours passed in a blur of orientation videos and organizational charts. Shin Kyung-soo's legitimate business empire was vast. "Learning the landscape?" a smooth voice said. Trinity jumped. Kyung-soo stood in her doorway, looking impossibly put together in a charcoal suit. "You scared me," she said. "Kyung-soo," he corrected, moving into the office. "We're going to be working closely. Formality will get tiresome." He sat in one of her visitor chairs, positioning himself so they were at eye level. "How's Alice?" he asked. The question caught her off guard. "Good. Excited about me working normal hours." Something soft flickered across his face. "Children need their parents present." He pulled out a tablet. "Your primary responsibilities will be managing my personal schedule, coordinating with my business properties, and handling sensitive communications." They spent the next hour going over systems and expectations. Kyung-soo was thorough but patient, treating her like an equal. "You'll need appropriate work attire," he said as they wrapped up. "I've arranged an account at several shops. Ji-won has the details." Trinity stiffened. "I can't accept business expense. You're representing my interests now. Consider it part of your compensation package." Kyung-soo, Trinity. He stood, and she rose with him. "I know this is an adjustment, but you earned this position. Let me make it easier for you to succeed." Their eyes met, and Trinity felt that electric charge again. "Okay," she said softly. "Thank you." He turned to leave, then paused. "There's a charity gala next Friday. Medical research for children's hospitals. I need a +1. Trinity's stomach dropped. "You want me to go to a gala?" "As my assistant, yes. You'll need to know the major donors." He glanced back. "Don't worry. I don't bite." The week passed in a blur. Trinity mastered the scheduling system, coordinated property inspections, and successfully handled a crisis when a restaurant manager called in sick. Ji-won became an ally. patiently teaching Trinity the unwritten rules. "He likes you," Ji-won said Thursday afternoon over coffee. "What? No, Trust me, I've worked for him long enough to know. He's different around you. Softer." Friday arrived too quickly. The dress Ji-won had helped her pick, a midnight blue gown, hung in her office. Trinity barely recognized herself when she slipped into the dress at 6:30. The woman in the mirror looked elegant, confident. A knock on her door. "Trinity, it's time." She opened it to find Kyung-soo in a black tuxedo that should have been illegal. His eyes widened when he saw her. "You look stunning." Heat crawled up Trinity's neck. "Thank you." He offered his arm. "Shall we?" The gala was held at the High Museum of Art, glittering with lights and expensive cars. Trinity's breath caught as they pulled up to the red carpet. "Breathe," Kyung-soo murmured. "You belong here as much as anyone." But Trinity saw the looks as they entered. The whispers. A black woman on Shin Kyung-soo's arm was apparently noteworthy. Kyung-soo's hand found the small of her back. "Ignore them. Easy for you to say." "Is it? I'm a Korean man who built an empire through means most of these people pretend don't exist. Half this room smiles at me, while calculating if I'm more useful as a friend or enemy." Trinity looked at him in surprise. She'd been so focused on her own outsider status that she hadn't considered his. "So what do we do?" she asked. His smile was sharp. "We remind them that power isn't about their approval." He introduced her to donor after donor, and each time he presented her as Trinity Hayes, my personal assistant and trusted advisor. "Kyung-soo," a portly white man approached. "Good to see you. And who is this lovely creature?" Trinity felt Kyung-soo's hand tighten on her waist. "Thomas, this is Trinity Hayes, my personal assistant. Trinity Thomas Crawford. He sits on the hospital board." "Charmed," Thomas said, looking Trinity up and down in a way that made her skin crawl. "Tell me, dear, what does a personal assistant do exactly?" The implication was clear. Before Trinity could respond, Kyung-soo stepped forward. "She manages my schedule, coordinates my properties, and handles sensitive business matters. She also possesses more integrity in her little finger than most people in this room combined. Anything else you'd like to know, Thomas?" Thomas's smile faltered. No, just making conversation." "Good, because Trinity is not only my employee, but someone I respect immensely. I'd hate for our hospital donations to be affected by any misunderstandings." Thomas paled and excused himself quickly. Trinity looked up at Kyung-soo. "Thank you," she said quietly. "No one disrespects you. Not while you're with me." The possessiveness in his words should have bothered her. Instead, Trinity felt heat pool in her stomach. "Dance with me," Kyung-soo said suddenly. "What?" He led her to the dance floor. "Dance with me. Show them you belong here. I don't know how to dance like this. Follow my lead. Trust me." Trinity's breath caught as he pulled her close. Too close for a professional relationship, but she followed anyway. "You're a natural," he murmured. "I'm faking it. Aren't we all? You think I enjoy these events? Smiling at people who'd stab me in the back for a better business deal? Then why do it? Because power requires maintenance." His hand flexed against her waist. "But tonight I'm glad I came." "Why?" "Because you're here." Trinity's heart hammered. They were crossing lines. Employer and employee, different worlds, dangerous connections. But as Kyung-soo held her on that dance floor, Trinity couldn't quite remember why crossing lines was supposed to be wrong. The spell broke when Trinity's phone buzzed. A text from Mrs. Chen. "Alice has a fever. Not too high, but she's asking for you." Trinity's stomach dropped. "I need to go. Alice is sick." Kyung-soo didn't hesitate. "My driver will take you. But the gala doesn't matter. Your daughter needs you." 15 minutes later, Trinity was in the Mercedes, still in her gown, racing toward Mrs. Chen's apartment. Kyung-soo sat beside her, still in his tuxedo. "You didn't have to come," Trinity said. "Yes, I did." Alice was curled on Mrs. Chen's couch, her small body radiating heat. She opened her eyes when Trinity rushed in and her face crumpled. "Mama!" Trinity scooped her up. "I'm here, baby. Mama's here." Kyung-soo appeared with medicine. He measured it precisely while Trinity held Alice. "She should see a doctor tomorrow," Mrs. Chen said. "I'll arrange it," Kyung-soo said. "My personal physician. He'll come to your apartment." Trinity looked at him, this powerful man crouching in Mrs. Chen's humble living room, measuring medicine for a 7-year-old he barely knew. "Thank you," she whispered. His eyes met hers over Alice's head. Always. That night, after they were home and Alice was asleep, Trinity finally admitted the truth to herself. She was falling for Shin Kyung-soo, and that was the most dangerous thing she'd ever done. The text arrived at 2:30 a.m. "We have a problem. Meet me at the warehouse." Trinity checked on Alice, who was sleeping soundly, her fever broken. Mrs. Chen was in the guest room. Trinity quickly changed and called the car service. The warehouse was in a part of Atlanta Trinity didn't recognize. Industrial, isolated. Her stomach churned as the driver pulled up to a nondescript metal building. "Miss Hayes," the driver said. "Mister, Shin said to tell you he's inside. 3rd door on the left." The warehouse interior was divided into sections. Trinity could hear voices, sharp, angry voices speaking rapid Korean. Trinity. Kyung-soo appeared, looking different, dangerous. His suit jacket was gone, sleeves rolled up, revealing muscular forearms and the edge of a tattoo, a full dragon winding up his arm. "What's going on?" she asked. "I need your help, and I need you to trust me." Inside the section, Trinity found a young woman, maybe 20, huddled on a cot. She was Korean, her face bruised, her eyes terrified. 2 other women sat nearby, in similar states. Trinity's stomach dropped. "Kyung-soo, what is this?" "Human trafficking. A rival organization has been operating in my territory. We shut down one of their operations tonight. These women were being held against their will." The young woman began crying. Kyung-soo crouched beside her, speaking gentle Korean. She responded haltingly. "She says there are more," Kyung-soo translated, his jaw tight. "Children, in another location." Trinity's world tilted. "Children? We're trying to find them. But these women, they need care, medical attention, trauma counseling, somewhere safe." He looked up at Trinity. "I can provide that, but I need someone they can trust to coordinate it. Someone with integrity." "Why me?" "Because you're not part of this world. Because you have a daughter and understand what it means to protect children. Because I trust you." He stood. "I'm asking you to step into something dark, Trinity. I'll understand if you want to walk away." Trinity looked at the terrified women, thought about Alice, safe in her bed. "What do you need me to do?" The next 8 hours were a blur. Trinity coordinated with a medical team. She sat with the women and held their hands while doctors examined them. She used translation apps to communicate basic comfort. By dawn, the women were in a private facility, under guard and receiving care. Kyung-soo had disappeared around 4 a.m., his face set in stone. Trinity was drinking cold coffee when he returned at 6:30. His knuckles were bruised. His shirt had blood on it, not his own. "Did you find them?" she asked. "The children?" "Yes, all of them. Safe now." Trinity walked to him and touched his bruised hand gently. "You're hurt." "It's nothing." "It's not nothing. You stopped them, saved those women, the children." "I'm not a hero, Trinity. I run criminal enterprises. I break laws. I hurt people who cross me. What I did tonight, it wasn't altruistic. That operation was in my territory. They disrespected my authority. But you still saved them, because they were property to the people who took them, and I don't tolerate that." He pulled his hand away. "You should go home. Alice will be waking up soon." "Kyung-soo, go home, Trinity. You've seen too much already. We're going to talk about this." His laugh was bitter. "What's there to talk about? You know what I am now. I know you saved people tonight. I also broke a man's arm, possibly killed someone." He met her eyes. "I'm not good, Trinity. Don't make me into something I'm not." Trinity stepped closer. "I'm not making you into anything. I'm just seeing what's there." For a moment, she thought he might kiss her. His eyes dropped to her lips. Then he stepped back. "Your car is waiting." Over the next 2 weeks, things between them shifted. Kyung-soo was more distant at work, keeping interactions strictly professional. But Trinity noticed the small things, how his eyes followed her, how he always asked about Alice. The women from the warehouse were recovering. Trinity visited them regularly, helping coordinate services. Kyung-soo funded everything without hesitation. "You're different since that night," Ji-won observed one afternoon. "Both of you." "We're fine." "You're lying." Trinity, I've worked for Kyung-soo long enough to know he cares about you, really cares, and you care about him. He's my employer. Please, I've seen the way you look at each other. Be careful, okay? His world is complicated. Trinity knew that, but what she felt when she looked at Kyung-soo was getting harder to ignore. The crisis came on a Wednesday. Trinity was reviewing reports when Kyung-soo's phone rang. She watched his expression change to ice-cold rage. "Where?" he asked sharply in Korean. Then, "I'm on my way." He stood abruptly. "Trinity, cancel my afternoon appointments." "What's wrong?" "Nothing that concerns you." Trinity followed on instinct. "What happened?" He spun to face her, and she actually stepped back at the fury in his eyes. "Someone took G1. Trinity's world stopped. "What?" "Rival organization. Retaliation for the warehouse raid. They're demanding territory concessions. We need to call the police." "No police. They'd kill her the moment they saw uniforms. This is my world, Trinity, my mess to clean up. Then I'm coming with you." "Absolutely not. G1 is my friend, I'm coming." For a moment she thought he'd refuse. Then something in his expression softened. "Stay in the car no matter what happens, promise me." "I promise." They drove to an abandoned factory. Kyung-soo's men were already there. 6 vehicles, at least 20 men, all armed. "They want to negotiate," one told Kyung-soo. "Inside." Kyung-soo turned to Trinity. "Stay here, I mean it." He disappeared inside with 10 of his men. Trinity sat in the back seat, her heart pounding. Then she heard the scream. G1. Trinity's door was open before she could think. She ran toward the factory entrance. Inside was chaos. Kyung-soo and his men faced off against another group, also armed. In the center, held by 2 men, was G1, her face bloody, her arm twisted. "Trinity, get out!" Kyung-soo shouted when he saw her. But Trinity was staring at the man holding G1, at the tattoo on his neck, the same symbol from the warehouse. "You," she said, her voice carrying. "You're the one who trafficked those women." The man's eyes narrowed. "Who's this?" "Your whore, Shin." Kyung-soo moved like lightning, but Trinity spoke first. "I'm the one who coordinated their recovery, got them medical care, connected them with organizations that will help them rebuild their lives. And I'm the one who documented everything. Photos, medical reports, locations, names, all of it backed up in 3 separate locations. It was a lie, but she sold it with conviction." The man looked uncertain. "You're bluffing." "Am I?" Trinity pulled out her phone. "I can have those files in the hands of the FBI in 60 seconds. Your operation, your locations, your faces, everything." "Trinity, stop," Kyung-soo said quietly, but she heard something else in his voice. "Or," Trinity continued, "you let G1 go, right now, and we all walk away. And the files? Remain where they are, as insurance. You stay out of Atlanta, they stay hidden. You come back, they get released. Your choice." The standoff lasted an eternity. Then, slowly, the man released G1. She stumbled forward. "This isn't over," the man said to Kyung-soo. "Yes," Kyung-soo replied, his voice deadly calm. "It is." The rival group retreated. Trinity's knees nearly gave out. Kyung-soo was at her side immediately, gripping her arms. "What the hell were you thinking?" he demanded. "That G1 is my friend and that I wasn't going to watch her die. You could have been killed." He broke off, pulling her against his chest in a fierce embrace. "Don't ever do that again." Trinity felt his heart racing. "I promised to stay in the car." "You promised." His laugh was shaky. "God, Trinity, you terrified me." She pulled back to look up at him. His eyes were wild, vulnerable. "You saved her life," he said quietly, with a bluff and sheer courage. "You're incredible." "I'm stupid. That was so stupid." "It was. It was also the bravest thing I've ever seen." Trinity's breath caught as his thumb brushed her cheekbone. They were crossing that line again. "Kyung-soo," she whispered. I know we shouldn't. But Trinity, I can't stop thinking about you, can't stop wanting—" "Boss," one of his men interrupted. "We need to move, now." The moment shattered. Kyung-soo stepped back. "Get G1 to the hospital. Private room, full security." As they drove back, G1 sleeping in the back seat, Trinity tried to process what had happened. She'd stepped into Kyung-soo's world completely now, seen the violence, the danger, and instead of running, she'd stood her ground. Worse, or maybe better, She'd seen him vulnerable, terrified for her. Those files, Kyung-soo said quietly. Do they exist? No. His laugh was genuine. You're a terrible liar. I convinced them. You did. Pure fire and courage wrapped in soft skin. Do you know that? Trinity's cheeks heated. I'm just me. Just you is extraordinary. When they reached Trinity's apartment, Kyung-soo insisted on walking her to the door. I meant what I said earlier, he told her at her threshold. Don't ever do that again. If something happened to you because of me, I wouldn't survive it. Kyung-soo! I'm falling for you. I know I shouldn't. I know this is wrong on every level. But Trinity, I'm falling so hard and I don't know how to stop. Trinity's heart hammered. Then don't stop. His eyes widened. You can't mean that. Why not? Because I'm a criminal. Because my world is dangerous. Because you deserve better. Trinity grabbed his shirt and pulled him down, kissing him with all the pent-up emotion of the past month. He froze for half a second, then kissed her back with desperation. When they broke apart, Kyung-soo rested his forehead against hers. This is insane, he whispered. Probably. You could get hurt. I'm tougher than I look. Trinity, I'm falling for you too. And that terrifies me, but I can't unfeel it. Kyung-soo pulled back to look at her, his eyes searching. If we do this, if we cross this line, I need you to understand what it means. My enemies become your enemies. My risks become your risks. I'm already in it, Kyung-soo. Alice, he murmured. We need to think about Alice. I am thinking about her. I'm thinking she deserves a mother who's brave enough to grab happiness when it shows up, even if that happiness is complicated. Complicated is an understatement. Then we'll figure it out. Together. Kyung-soo kissed her forehead, her cheeks, her lips again. You're sure? I'm terrified, but yes, I'm sure. Later that night, Trinity checked on Alice. Her daughter was sleeping peacefully, clutching the stuffed wolf Kyung-soo had bought her. Trinity sat on the edge of the bed, watching her daughter breathe and wondered what she'd just done. But as she touched her still tingling lips, Trinity couldn't bring herself to regret it. Some risks were worth taking, even the terrifying ones. The call came at midnight, 3 days after the kiss. Trinity was half asleep when her phone lit up. Trinity. Kyung-soo's voice was tight. Take Alice and go to this address. He gave her a location. My man will meet you there. Don't pack, just go. Right now. Trinity's blood went cold. What's happening? The organization from the factory, they've escalated. It's not safe for you at your apartment anymore. Kyung-soo, please, just trust me. Keep Alice safe. Trinity was already moving, scooping up a drowsy Alice. Okay, I'm leaving now. Trinity, I'm sorry, this is my fault. We'll talk about fault later. Just be safe. The drive to the safe house took 30 minutes. Alice slept through most of it. The safe house was a modest suburban home, comfortable and stocked with everything they'd need. Ms. Hayes, a woman named Hannah, met them. Mr. Shin asked me to ensure your comfort. Trinity got Alice settled, then sat in the living room, waiting for Kyung-soo to call back. It took 2 hours. Trinity, are you safe? Yes, what's going on? They know about you. About Alice. They're using you to get to me. I need to end this. Tonight. End this how? The less you know, the better. Kyung-soo, I'll come to you when it's done. Just stay safe, please. The line went dead. Trinity tried to sleep but couldn't. Dawn was breaking when her phone rang again. Unknown number. Hello? Trinity Hayes? I have a message from Shin Kyung-soo. Her blood went cold. Who is this? That's not important. Your boyfriend made some very poor choices last night. Choices that require consequences. Trinity's hand shook. If you hurt him, he's alive, for now. But we have terms. You come to us, we let him go. Simple exchange. I don't believe you. The man laughed. Smart woman. But do you want to risk it? Do you want to gamble with his life? Where? He gave her an address. You have 1 hour. Come alone. Or Shin dies. The line went dead. Trinity woke Hannah, explained quickly. You can't go, Hannah said. It's a trap. I know. But they might really have him. Then we call his organization. There's no time. Trinity was already moving. Stay with Alice. If I don't come back, make sure she's taken care of, please. Trinity took the vehicle and drove toward the address with her heart in her throat. She knew this was stupid, but the image of Kyung-soo hurt. She couldn't risk it. The building was abandoned. Trinity parked and walked toward the entrance on shaking legs. Inside, one man waited. Korean, older, with cold eyes. Trinity Hayes. You came. I'm impressed. Where's Kyung-soo? Not here. Did you really think we'd bring him to the obvious location? Trinity's stomach dropped. You lied. Of course, but you came anyway because you love him. That was the point. What do you want? To send a message. Shin Kyung-soo thinks he can defy us, so we're going to cost him something he values. You're going to kill me to hurt him. Eventually. First, we're going to let him watch. The man pulled out a phone. We have her. Yes. He turned the phone toward Trinity. On the screen was Kyung-soo bound to a chair. Blood streaked his face. His eyes widened in horror. Trinity, no, God no, let her go. This is between us. That's where you're wrong, Shin. This is about what happens when you defy us. Watch carefully. He nodded to his men. They advanced on Trinity. The explosion shattered the windows. Trinity hit the ground. Gunfire, shouting, smoke. Someone grabbed her arm. Min, pulling her toward cover. Stay down! Kyung-soo's men poured into the building. The rescue was military precise. Within minutes, the rival men were subdued or fleeing. When the gunfire stopped, Min helped Trinity to her feet. How did you— GPS tracker in the vehicle. We followed you. Mr. Shin's orders. You were never alone. Trinity's legs nearly gave out. Kyung-soo, where is he? Team 2 is getting him now. He's safe. 20 minutes later, a convoy arrived. Kyung-soo practically fell out of the lead SUV, his face battered but his eyes desperate. He ran to Trinity, pulling her into his arms with bruising force. You came. Why would you do something so stupid? Trinity laughed, the sound half sob. Because I love you, you idiot. He pulled back to stare at her. What? I love you. Even though you're a criminal. Even though your world is insane. Even though this is the stupidest decision I've ever made. I love you. Kyung-soo kissed her with desperate intensity. When they broke apart, his eyes were suspiciously bright. I love you too. So much it terrifies me. What about the men who took you? Handled. They won't be a problem anymore. His voice was cold steel. No one threatens what's mine. What's yours? His smile was fierce. Mine. You're mine, Trinity Hayes, if you'll have me. Criminal empire, danger, complications and all. I'm definitely going to regret this. Probably. But yes, I'll have you. They stood in the wreckage, holding each other. It should have been terrifying. Instead, it felt like coming home. Years later, Trinity stood in the kitchen of the house Kyung-soo had bought for them, watching her daughter help prepare dinner. Alice was almost 11 now, tall and confident. Careful with that knife, sweetheart, Kyung-soo said, moving behind Alice to guide her hands. Trinity smiled at the domestic scene. The feared Korean boss was now a legitimate businessman, his transition complete. He'd kept his promise. Mama, did you find the recipe card? Alice asked. Right here. Appa. Alice had started calling Kyung-soo that 6 months ago, after he'd formally adopted her. Trinity would never forget the tears streaming down his face when the judge had made it official. After dinner, after their guests left and Alice was in bed, Trinity and Kyung-soo sat on their porch swing. Happy? He asked softly. Deliriously. You? More than I ever thought possible. He pulled something from his pocket, a small box. Trinity. Her breath caught. Kyung-soo. It's been over 2 years. My business is legitimate. Alice calls me Appa. We have a life built on honesty and love. He opened the box to reveal a stunning ring. Put it on my name, you said once. I want to put everything on our name. Together. Will you marry me? Trinity's eyes filled with tears. She thought about that humiliating day in the baby store, about coins scattered on the floor, about a dangerous man who'd seen past her circumstances. She thought about late-night conversations and quiet courage, about learning to trust again, to love again. She thought about Alice happy and secure. Yes, she whispered, 1,000 times yes. Kyung-soo slipped the ring on her finger with shaking hands, then pulled her into a kiss that tasted like promises and forever. Inside the house, Alice's nightlight glowed. The puppy barked once, then settled. The city hummed in the distance. But in this moment, Trinity held the hand of the man she loved and knew that some of the best stories were the ones no one could have predicted. the ones that started with humiliation and coins, and ended with a love worth more than all the wealth in the world, a love that had been put on their name together.